Welcome back, everybody. It's a brand new year, 2019, man. Wow. Flew by just like that. But we got another great year ahead on this channel. Hope you enjoyed your holidays. I know I did. Got a couple extra pounds to prove it. Playtime is over though, man. It's time to get back to work. So if you're the type of person that makes a list of resolutions at the beginning of the year and getting better at the drums happens to be one of them, congratulations, you're in the right spot. These people will tell you that this is a place to be. So just make sure before you leave, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single video this year. Now, what I wanted to do this year, like instead of focusing on one specific thing, what I decided to do was just make this year all about commitment. So I wanted to kind of set the tone for the entire year, just to give us all kind of a sense of focus for the year. But yeah, man, I'm looking for serious drummers that are ready to commit to getting better. Now, being a really great, effective, well-rounded musician is, of course, the end goal, right? That's what we're all kind of striving to be here. But being a really great, effective, well-rounded musician means getting really good at like 1,000 different individual things. Now, some of these things are physical and some of these things are mental, right? So you have the technique side of it, but then you also want to be able to make good, smart, musical decisions. So the point is, with all these individual areas that we got to work on, there's going to be weaknesses. And that is what the point of this year is going to be. I'm looking for serious drummers that are ready to commit to working on their weaknesses. The first step towards getting better at doing anything is admitting and accepting that you suck at it. So, what I want you guys to do after you watch this video, or you can start doing it right now, but what I want you to do is I want you to write down your weaknesses, all right? Write down the things that you know you're not good at, that you want to improve on, and then what I want you to do is drop them in the comment section below. I'm going to read every single one of those comments, and I'm going to consider everything that I see in there for future videos. So make sure you do that, man. Just grab a pen and paper, write down what your weaknesses are. I know for me, my brushwork has always kind of sucked. I mean, I'm okay at it. I'm all right. But, you know, when I see guys like Jeff Hamilton and Steve Smith and Jojo Mayer use brushes, it's almost embarrassing, at least for me. So I know that's one area that I never invested too much time in, was my brushwork. So I'm going to commit to that this year. Like, I'm really going to spend some time working on my brushes so that I can show you guys what I've learned. All right, so you've made the decision to commit. You've written down your weaknesses. Now you want to go ahead and commit to a full year of practicing. Brings us to the main purpose of this video. I'm going to give you 5 tips, 5 things that will guarantee you success by the time you hit December. Now, I'm not promising that you're going to be amazing, but I will absolutely 100% promise you that come December, you're going to be a better drummer than you were in January. So let's just get right down to the top 5. Tip number 1, and I'm going to say this because it's the most important one as far as I'm concerned. Practice your rudiments as often as possible. If you don't already have a really good practice pad, or 5, I got about 5 practice pads all over the house. But if you haven't already developed a practice pad addiction, get on that. Whenever you have downtime in the house, and you're not doing anything, get a pair of sticks and then just start running stuff on your practice pad. Doesn't have to be anything specific. You just got to move the hands. There's one thing that I can guarantee you without question. The better your hands are developed, the better you're going to end up sounding on the kit. So, like I said, man, as often as you can, work on your rudiments. Practice tip number 2, record yourself while you practice as often as possible. So you can use your phone, get a GoPro, use a regular camera, do whatever you got to do, but record yourself while you're playing, man. This is a really, really good way to track your progress. You'll get a really good visual on the things that you will eventually need to change, whether it's your posture, your setup, your hands. You'll see if you actually look stiff while you're playing, like all of that kind of stuff you'll get to see. And then just take those files and store them somewhere. The reason we want to do this is because of the whole progression thing, right? So if you start recording yourself in January, chances are you're not going to look the same or sound the same by the time you hit September. And seeing those improvements is really encouraging. Practice tip number 3, practice when you want to, all right? And by this, I mean, you should never feel forced to practice. It should never feel like a chore to do this type of thing. You should practice because you want to practice. When you really want to practice, you're going to get more out of it. The bottom line, man, is that you got to have fun at this, all right? If you're not having fun at this, it's just going to feel like work, and you're just going to eventually hate it. But hey, man, I mean, if you love the drums as much as I do, number 3 ain't going to be a problem. Practice tip number 4, and this is a super important one too, man. Play along to music as often as possible. Make sure that playing along to tracks or your favorite songs or whatever, make sure that that's a regular part of your practice. So if you have an electronic kit, just use that auxiliary jack on the back of the module there, stick your phone in there, throw on some tunes, and then just go at it. If you have an acoustic kit in the right environment for it, throw on the headphones or, set up a nice little station behind you with some loudspeakers and just play, man. Just play the tunes. The first 3 years of my practice, the majority of the time, I was just playing along to my favorite records. Practice tip number 5. Now, this one might sound a little bit weird to some of y'all, but you need to trust me on this. Visualize yourself being awesome. I can't even begin to tell you the importance, the awesomeness, and the effectiveness of visualization with anything that you want to do, really. Anything that you want to be successful at. Visualization played a huge part in a lot of things that I ended up doing. One good example of that is my traditional grip. When I first started learning the traditional grip, I started from scratch. I couldn't do anything at all with this left hand. Like I could barely play a single stroke with it. But there's a lot of drummers that I really sort of looked up to and aspired to play like. And I would visualize myself, like even when I sucked at it, I would visualize myself on stage looking and sounding like these drummers. Now this was like, it's got to be like 5 or 6 years ago now, but when I look at recent videos of myself on stage playing, I'm like, wow, man. Like I'm looking pretty smooth up there. I'm looking like the guys that I used to admire. But if there's a particular technique that you want to learn, if there's a drummer that you admire for a certain technique that you're currently working on, visualize yourself doing it. And during that process, just keep working at it. And I can guarantee you, man, one day you're going to end up looking and sounding like you want. And for you drummers out there that are currently aspiring to one day do this for a living, especially for you guys, man, visualize yourself, like while you're practicing, you're playing along to songs and stuff, visualize yourself on those stadium stages, in those expensive studios, wherever. All of that stuff serves as motivation, and motivation is going to be one of the most critical sources of fuel for you to actually get better. It's all about keeping that positive mindset and knowing 100% that you're going to achieve what you're trying to achieve. So who's ready? Huh? That's the hashtag of the year, man. Admit and commit. If you're ready to make your weaknesses stronger and become a better drummer in 2020, let's go. We're all in this together, man. Like, we're all just here trying to be better drummers. That's why this channel exists, and that's what I'm going to continue to try to do. Now, before I leave, man, I just got to plug some things that I have of my own, because I got products available for you. For my beginner drummers out there, if you need help with anything, I do have a beginner drummer's handbook, which is available on my website. You can just go, I'll drop the link in the description below. It's basically just any question that you'll ever have within your first couple of years of playing, and all of their answers. So if you get stuck with anything, just refer to the handbook. You can download it straight to your device, and all your answers are right there. I also have 2 albums available, 2 albums of play-along tracks. One is called BEATDOWN'S Pocket Builders. This is just some really simple but cool songs that you can play to, drumless tracks that you can work on your grooves and your feel and all of that kind of stuff. That's available on iTunes and pretty much anywhere else you can download music. The second album that I have out is called Solo Comps for Drummers. This, same idea as the first album, but these are specifically to work on your soloing and your phrasing. So for you intermediate drummers out there, you advanced drummers, you want some stuff that you can shed out to, this is an album you might want to check out. Each song is basically just like a 5-minute loop of a particular melody, just to give you enough space and time to work out whatever you want to work out. And then, of course, there's my online merch shop, which is full of a whole bunch of different t-shirts and hoodies for drummers. Check that out. The link will be in the description box as well. I got over 60 different designs in the shop there. I'm sure there's going to be 1 or 5 in there that you're going to like. Keep in mind that every time you buy a piece of merch, you're helping to support the channel, so I very much appreciate it. So that's it, man. That's about all I got to say. I'm out. Thanks for watching this video. New viewers, new subscribers, make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out. Like, subscribe. See you next video.